Alright guys, so in this video we're going to create the route to add a post. Now in the last video we created the model, the post model, and I just realized that a couple of fields I had as lowercase s like that for string, and you want to make sure that they're all uppercase. Okay, so make sure those are all uppercase or you're going to get an error when you actually try to bring in the model. So do that. Let's close that up, go into our post routes, and we're going to be making a post request to API/posts, and this is going to create a post, and this is going to be private because you have to be logged in to create a post. So let's change this get to a post, and we have some stuff to bring in. We're going to be using the auth middleware, also the we need to bring in the error checking or the express validator. So let's do const. Let's see, we're going to bring in check and validation result. That's going to be from express validator / check, and then let's bring in our auth middleware. So that's going to be 2 levels up in middleware and auth. Okay, so let's get rid of this send, put some curly braces. We do have to add some stuff in here. So second parameter is going to be brackets, and we want to add auth and then another set of brackets, and then here's where we want to do our check, and all we're checking is the text field. We do have the name and the avatar associated with the post as well, but that's going to come, we're going to make a request using the user ID that we have from the token to get that. So that's not something that's going to actually be sent. However, the text is going to be sent, and we want to check for that and just say text is required, and just do .not .is empty. Save that. All right, so now we're ready to add our body here. Let's just make sure we do async. All right, now the first thing we want to do, because since we're using error checking, is just say errors equals validation results, which takes in the request, and then just check for that. So we want to check to see if errors, or I'm sorry, not errors dot is empty, which seems a little redundant, but that's how the documentation says to do it. So we want to return res dot status, and let's return 400, and let's go ahead and send some JSON back. We want to send an errors array, so we have this errors object which has a method called array, and that will give us that array. Alright, so that's the error checking. Now what we're going to do is create a variable called user, and we want to do await, take our user model, which we didn't bring in any models, so we want to make sure we do that. Let's see, so we're going to bring in all of our models actually, because we're going to need them all at some point. So let's bring in post. I'm going to require let's see, // models and post. Copy this down twice. Let's bring in profile, and let's do profile and user. Okay, so now we have all of our models that we can now use. So the reason that we're doing this is so that we can get the name, the avatar, and the user itself. If you remember the post, if we look at the model of the post, we have the user itself. Okay, so we need that. Also, the name and avatar is going to come from the database. It's not something we're sending with the request. So let's say user, and we'll use find by ID. And remember, we're logged in, so we have the token which gives us the user ID and puts it inside of request.userid, so we can use that. request.user.id. Now I don't want to send the password back, so I'm going to say select and pass in a string of -password. So that'll give us the user, and then let's set up a variable for a new post, an object, and the text is going to come from the body, so request.body.text. The rest of the stuff is going to come from inner, from the user. So the name is going to come from that user.name, and the avatar is going to come from user.avatar, and then user is going to come from request.user.id. Okay, because we just need the ID in here, the object ID. So now we have this object. We haven't done anything with it yet. So actually, you know what? Let's wrap this in a try catch. Oops, not a try care. So try catch, and let's do and res.status 500.send server error. So what I'll do is just move these up here. Okay, and then under this new post right here, we're going to go ahead and create another variable called post. Set that to await new post dot save, so that we have that inside that variable, and then we can send that as a response. So we'll do res.json, and let's send the post. Okay, so once we add the post, we'll get it back in the response. So hopefully that works. Let's save it, and let's head over to Postman. We're going to be saving everything now in our post collection. Okay, anything that has to do with posts. And let's we need to log in, and I don't think my preset key is still valid, so I'm going to just log in again with the Brad user, and let's send, get the token, and I'm just going to add that to my preset. So let's see, where are we? Headers. Actually, let's open up a new tab. So if I go to headers and I go to presets, manage presets, Brad's token, I'm just going to change this to the new one. Okay, so as far as the URL, it's going to be HTTP, and actually it's going to be a post request. It's going to be API/posts. Okay, and then for headers, we're going to add in here. Let's see, we're sending data, so we want the content type to be JSON. We need the token, and then in the body, let's try to send it without anything first, just to see if we get our error. So we'll go ahead and send. Okay, and we get text is required. So let's send our text. And I'll just grab some dummy text, lipsum.com, and just generate some paragraphs here. So I'll just grab, I don't want it to be too long, so I'll just get like that. Paste that in, send. Okay, so we get a server error. Let's see what's going on here. New post.save is not a function, and that's because this shouldn't be. Wait a minute. It should be, but what I forgot to do is when I created this new post object, I didn't instantiate a new post from the model, so we need to do that. Wrap that in parentheses. All right, so that should work. So let's try it again. And there we go. We get our post back. You can see the text, the ID that was created, the name, the avatar, and the reason we're getting this stuff is because of that. We fetched it from the database using the ID from the token. Okay, and then we have likes and comments, which are just empty arrays, similar to how the experience in education is on the profiles. All right, cool. So we can now add a post. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it in the posts collection. And let's say add post. All right, there we go. So let's see. Let's add a post with a different user before we finish this video. So I'm going to log in again as JDoe. So I'll get his token. And let's go to add post, and I'm just going to switch out the token here. And then for the body, let's see, I'm just going to say this is a new post from the user John Doe. Send that. We get that back, and now notice that the name is John Doe, and the avatar and the user also belong to him because that's who we're logged in as. So that's how we want this to work. All right, cool. So in the next video, I want to be able to fetch posts. We'll probably do, getting all posts and as well as getting posts by their ID. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.